In this short presentation, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to do a scatter plot and calculate the R value for a data set in Excel 2007 for the PC. These steps will also work on the 2010 version of Excel for PC, and since we're not going to be using the tool pack, this will work for Mac as well. This is Dr. Myers, and I'm course lead faculty for NSG 322 Biostatistics at National University. So in this example that we're going to work with today, we've basically made 8 patients exercise for 5 minutes. We've measured their pulse rate before and after. This is a good example of correlation because, of course, as people exercise, you see their pulse rates go up. And if they had a high pulse rate before, they should have a high pulse rate after exercise as well. So the question is, how do we plot this data and calculate the R value using Excel? Well, to graph it's very easy. We're going to click on Insert and then Scatter. And to calculate the R value, we're going to use the Corral formula. So we're going to use a function within a formula to calculate the R value. So next here, I'll go ahead and share the Excel program with you. And all I've done is typed in the data for the 8 patients. You can pause this recording and type these in as well if you'd like to keep along. So by default, when we select these for the graphing function in Excel, the first column is going to be our x-axis, the second one will be the y. So you can copy and paste your data in your worksheet into another part of the worksheet if you want to make sure your x and y axes are aligned properly. So our before is going to be on our x-axis and our y-axis will be after. All we do is go up to Insert. Once we've selected our data, click on Scatter, click on Scatter only with markers, and that'll display the data for us. So that's a very quick way to get our scatter plot in Excel. We'll turn that aside for a minute and we'll come back to that later to make this data more presentable, but let's do the R value first. Just simply click on a cell. We're going to make a formula to calculate the R value. So we're going to go up to the formula bar and type equals, type in our function, that's correlation, C-O-R-R-E-L, and you can see Excel's help functions are prompting me as I do that. It knows we're going to put in the correlation coefficient. As prompted here, we're going to put in a parentheses. Now we're going to put in these arrays as it's prompting us to do. So the first is our x values, so we'll just drag over those, B2 to B9. Click a comma, just like it has it here. Put in the second array, so that's our y values, C2 to C9, and as prompted we'll put an end to the parentheses, click enter, and automatically it's calculated the R value for us. 0.610, again a positive number. R values vary from -1 to 1. So this is a positive function which looks right because we've got, as we go increase x values, the y values increase. So there's our R value, Pearson's R. So to then go back to the graph to make it more presentable and to see our data more clearly, we don't want to bunch our data up into one end. So to do that, we can go ahead and change the axes here. So simply right-click on them, go down to Format Axis, and then you can change those values. So we can start the minimum here so we can see the data more clearly. We click on the fix for the minimum. We can set that at, say, 50, and the maximum we can put at, say, 85. So as I change these, you can see the graph changes, and you can go back and change these as you want to make your graph look better. We're not changing the data, we're just changing the way we display it. Again, we'll go to the vertical axis, the y-axis, same thing, right-click, Format Axis, and here we may want to go from a minimum of 80, say to maybe 150. To get rid of these grid lines, simply drag over them and again and right-click and say delete. So now we have a very nice scatter plot set up for us. If you want to do a linear fit of the data, you can just go ahead and select the data points, again right click, and instead of Format Data Series, you can click on Add Trend Line, and now you have the linear fit and you have a nice linear fit to your data. So also to then fix the labels, you can go to the Layout tab. You can then put in a chart title. You can also label the axes from here and really make your scatter plot look great. So again, this is a very quick way to use Excel to get the R value, correlation coefficient, and to make a scatter plot of your data in Excel.